This is an interesting story, really. This guitar, you want me to pick this up? I guess I should do that. This particular guitar is one of the earliest prototypes. Actually, I think it's number one prototype. There may have been one other one, but generally speaking, this is a Chet Atkins 6120, which was not a 6120 yet. But I was working for a wonderful collector named Scott Chinery. And Scott Chinery had, I think, close to almost 2,000 guitars in his collection. And he would have me come down to pick up guitars to restore or fix them or keep them in, good playing order. And one day he had told me that, I know you love this guitar, Tom, and you worked with Chet and Les, and especially I think that you should have this guitar. I said, well, I can't afford to buy this guitar. He said, well, I'm not asking you to buy it. I said, well, I can, maybe pay you through repairs that I'm doing for you. Well, one thing led to another, and he said, Tom, look, I want you to have this guitar. I want you to take it today. I said, well, you sure? He says, I wouldn't be giving it to you. You should have this guitar. Now, what's interesting about this guitar is that it's what Gretsch was trying to do is appease what Chet Atkins was looking for in a guitar. And this was documented by Chet himself, that he was trying to get rid of feedback and have good sustain, and like something I mentioned before, he wanted to have resonance, but he didn't want to have feedback. And their personal prototype that they made for him was this guitar, and they made an orange one also, which is a 6120. But what's interesting about it is that these are not really F-holes. These are actually just well, they actually took that material off of drums that Gretsch used to make, and they glued them on the top to make it seem like it had F-holes, but it doesn't really have F-holes. And so the whole guitar has almost a 1/4 of an inch thick top, has very little bracing of anything inside of it. But what's interesting again about it is that it was using the best possibilities to keep that problem from happening for any acoustic guitar player, that feedback problem. So the thing is, Chet really liked this, but there were some things he didn't like about it, which was the original pickups, which are on this guitar right now. He did start experimenting with a man named Ray Butts, and Ray Butts was a man who had made an amplifier called the Echosonic amplifier, and he made pickups also. And he told Chet that he could make a set of humbucking pickups for him, probably even before Gibson came out with their patent applied for humbuckers. And he made a set of pickups for him, and he's put them on this guitar, one of the first guitars to ever have them. And Chet used those pickups on this guitar and also the orange 6120, which was the other prototype. And he recorded a number of albums and did some shows. This particular guitar was used by Chet, I believe in 1956 on the Grand Ole Opry, and he was playing a song called Dark Eyes with this particular guitar. So I'm very proud of this guitar, that I should own it. And we're just excited about the fact that this guitar has been missing out of the whole collection of Chet Atkins' guitars. So we actually contacted the Country Music Hall of Fame, and the curator is excited about this guitar. He actually called us and was astounded at the fact that this guitar has finally turned up, and they're so happy that it's still in circulation, actually out there. And so we're very excited about it. You can get the idea of this guitar having an ebony fingerboard. It doesn't have pearl inlays, it has plastic inlays. This is typical of the early 6120s. It doesn't have all of the original Chet Atkins 6120s, all the adornments. This is before that, all of that adornments. And so, but it does have a Bigsby, and it does have the Chet Atkins signature on it. This is not the original pickguard, but this is the pickguard that Chet actually put on after he put back the original pickups and moved the prototype pickups to the orange guitar. As I am told, that's what has happened. Excuse me. So that's very, very interesting. The guitar itself is all, you can see it's very similar to a 6120, except that it's basically all closed. to stop the feedback. And also, you can see there are some magnets that have been put into this fingerboard. Now, why would he put magnets in this fingerboard? Well, inside, those magnets go straight through inside, and they were making, this is Ray Butts and Chet Atkins, they were making coils to go onto these magnets. They wanted to have a base that could be zeroed in through those pickups and actually used as almost a harmonic below the normal bass string on a regular guitar. So there'd be almost like a double bass playing with them. And if you can look at this closely, actually, Chet Atkins never liked the magnets on the original pickups. These are D. Armand pickups. Although many guitar companies use those pickups, Chet didn't particularly like them because it would suck in the bass strings too much. So he would actually chop these magnets, try to knock down the magnetism out. You can see on the back or the rear pickup that he actually tried to reduce the magnetism on those pickups by chopping them off the top a little bit, by disturbing the magnetic pull. Anyway, so that's basically what this guitar is about. Again, we're very proud of it, and we're glad that we maybe will eventually be going to the Country Music Hall of Fame. Again, this guitar actually was derived from the Streamliner. Mr. Ed Ball, who actually just finished the book, the great Gretsch book. He's the author of that book, Ed Ball. I just talked to him on the phone a few days back, and he was so excited that this guitar was finally found. He has a picture of it in his book. It's a great Gretsch book, by the way. J. Scott made, I think, the first Gretsch book, and Ed Ball made the second one. And the second one was basically going after the 6120 Chet Atkins model. And this was the prototype to that 6120. But they were originally what they were called are Streamliner guitars. And this was presented to Chet Atkins by, there was a gentleman that Jimmy Webster was his name. And Jimmy Webster was the person who designed a lot of things for Gretsch, and it was a great proponent of the touch system on the guitar. And he would actually play chords and then play the guitar like a piano up here like that. So this is a very interesting style from the 1940s that he developed, and then worked for the Gretsch company to bring new designs to the company, to bring it into what we would call different colors and ideas with cars of the 1950s. The reason this guitar is black, though, is an interesting part, because you see Chet Atkins was always a very conservative guy about guitars, so he didn't want to have anything ostentatious, although Jimmy Webster wanted to do that because he felt that he could put new adornments on it, different pickups, gold plating, you know, F-holes that were painted on, all these different things that would make it a new guitar every year. He could have a selling point for the guitars. Chet was never really much into that kind of stuff. He just wanted a good playing guitar, and that's what he was after. So the reason for the black is because they were going after the black Les Paul guitar, the custom Les Paul of 1954. And so this guitar was supposed to be in the reverence of the Les Paul guitar. Now Gibson has a black guitar that a great guitar player, I mean, I should say Gretsch has a great guitar that Gibson has too. They have a black 6120. That's the reason for the black color. The guitar is actually plywood, but very thick inside. It actually has a 1/4 of an inch plywood top and back, very thick. The sides are also plywood too. This stops the feedback completely and makes a very, very interesting sound. It's a big sounding guitar, but it also doesn't feed back. The type of finish is just basically lacquer finish. They use these same colors that were from the car industry, actually. Gretsch later even went into all kinds of other colors, that what they would do, like a two-tone car in the 1950s. So the top would be one color, the sides would be a different color. And this was quite common for Gretsch. No one else was doing it at the time. I know that Fender began to follow some of that, but they really didn't do it first. Gretsch did. Anyway, that's basically what this is all about. Great guitar. I'm very proud to be the owner of it.